The new iPad mini has now been out for 7 whole days. Here are my thoughts on the new iPad mini 7. It is a fantastic iPad because the iPad mini 6 was a great iPad. If you have been living in a Faraday bag and have not found any information out there on the internet, here's the thing. There is a brand new iPad mini 7. And the reality is this, it's not that much of an upgrade. You probably don't need to upgrade, but I do want to talk about who this iPad is for. So we're going to talk about a few of the good things, some of the bad things, and some of the just kind of in-between things. So first, let's talk about the physical aspect of this brand new iPad mini. It is the exact same as the old iPad mini. Like, if you want to talk about the physical design of this thing, there is no difference. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Look at the bezels on these guys. They're large and in charge. You know, that's kind of an older design. So that's one of the unfortunate things about this iPad mini. I do think Apple has a reason why they did this, and I have not seen anybody else on the internet talking about this. I'm going to make a separate video of why I think they decided to do this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to see this. I think I'm onto something that I literally have not seen anybody else talking about. So yeah, get subscribed if you want to see that. But first, let's talk about the color of these new iPads. I think these colors are actually pretty sweet. You can actually kind of see it more in this shot right here. This blue is kind of a muted blue. Sometimes you can't really tell if it's silver or it's blue. I really, really like it. I mean, I have been a fan of what Apple has been doing recently with some of their color options, specifically with the new iPhone 16. Like, the iPhone 16 with their colors, they are beautiful, but these new colors, I think they're fantastic. Now, this overhead cam is a little bit extra saturated, so don't expect it to be this blue. Expect it to be a little bit more muted, maybe like that kind of color right in here. But they look great. Next, let's talk about the design of the screen. As you can see, this one has a lot of bezel on it. Now, a lot of people are saying they wish it had smaller bezels. But for me, when I'm using this iPad, I typically use it to read my Bible. I use Logos Bible software, or I'll use it to read a book. For me, I like having this extra bezel space because I like to hold it in my hand. Sometimes I have it in the case, and it is, you know, the cool thing, these old cases, they work with these iPads, and so that's really nice. But I'll fold this back, put my thumb on the screen here, and then fold my finger in between the folio case, and that just gives you space, a really stable base for kind of looking through any book or any Bible or any kind of text thing that you want to read. And so those bezels, though they kind of look a little bit outdated, they're not the worst thing in the world. They really do help you hold this thing in your hand. And the fact of the matter is, it's pretty darn small. And so having a little bit of extra space to hold on to, I don't think is a bad thing. Next up, they did improve the USB-C port, so it is faster now than the older one, which is great because USB-C protocol, it's just getting better and better over time. Now, the main event of what they changed on this iPad is they put the A17 Pro chip inside of here, which is in the iPhone 15 Pro. Here's the thing with iPads. I feel like these iPads, the A17 Pro chip is fantastic for this iPad because I've never saturated an iPad and really felt like I needed a whole bunch more power. I don't do any photo editing, don't do video editing, though I have seen Final Cut is now on this iPad. That's pretty sweet. I've seen people do photo editing on this. That's fantastic. This, to me, because it's the size of a book, is the perfect e-reader. You can take fast notes with it. You can take handwritten notes with the Apple Pencil Pro. I've got mine around here somewhere. I don't feel like taking it out. But this iPad, to me, the iPad mini 7, is the perfect portable iPad. The other iPads are great if you're producing a lot on it. My iPads I use a lot for consumption. I mean, that's kind of how they were originally designed. It's great for watching YouTube. It's great for reading books. And so with that A17 Pro chip inside of here, it just makes it so that this thing is more efficient with power. It is going to be able to kind of keep up with a lot of the tasks that you have. It is fantastic that they upped the memory because it was at 64 gigabytes, and that is nothing, like absolutely nothing. And so the fact that it starts at 128 gigs, man, that's a fantastic little upgrade. I don't know, the price of this thing being $500, I just don't know that it's worth upgrading if you're on the iPad mini 6. $500 for something with a screen like this, that is kind of old. Again, I do have a theory as why they're doing this. Get subscribed if you want to see that. But these are just my first impressions of this iPad mini. We are going to talk kind of a 1 month, 3 month, 6 months, 1 year on this guy and just see how it's holding up because it is kind of older hardware, kind of see how it feels over time. But to me, getting this iPad with a little bit faster chip, that's not the worst thing in the world. So I think it is still one of my favorite iPads. I do wish Apple would have done a little bit more with it, but they didn't. And so here is my recommendation. If you are a person who reads a lot on your iPad, I would go back with the iPad mini 6. reading on it feels totally fine. Yes, it has the jelly scroll that people talk about. It is not a big deal. People make such a big deal about jelly scroll. Unless you're just sitting there zooming up and down on your screen, you don't see it at all. So if you do notice it and it's a big deal, go to the 7. 7 still has it a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it was on the 6. But if you're just reading with this thing, you're watching a little bit of YouTube, the iPad mini 6 is still freaking rips. And so I would go for that. Get it for the cheaper price. If you are somebody who's going to use this for a really, really long time, you want to do a little bit more than just reading on it, maybe a little bit more than just watching YouTube or Netflix on it. Go up to the Mini 7. I do think it's a great iPad. It's going to last you years. I mean, the iPhone 15 Pro still feels fantastic in the hand, and this feels just as fast as that. It does have a little bit of a core issue. It's got one less core than the iPhone's 15 Pro. No big deal. I'm telling you, the average person will not notice the differences in these small little incremental things. And so, hey, want to save money? Go with the 6. It's still fantastic. If you want a little bit more longevity, better battery life, go with the 7. Honestly, with either of these, you're not going to go wrong. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of the iPad mini 7? Is it enough for you to upgrade? Maybe you're coming from the 5, and that might be worth it. Let me know. Like this video, sub to the channel. I will see you guys next time.